On this night, I do what I have done on so many other Christmas Eves of the past. Every year, I say in an attempt to make this task easier, that I might use duct tape to get the job done faster, but alas, Scotch tape has been my reliable and yet finicky friend. I speak now of the task of wrapping Christmas presents. However, by doing so, I begin to recollect the holiday memories of my 60-plus years of life. It's like an old friend that revisits me on every Christmas Eve. It is all for the celebration of a child's birth, yet it matters not what your religious persuasion might be. Haven't we all engaged in the ritual of gift wrapping for this time of the year? So as I begin to cut the wrapping paper, I am taken back to a time when I was a small child. On Christmas morning, my eyes would spring open. No one needed to call my name and wake me up. For today was Christmas, and that was enough to pull me from dreamland. I was out of my bed, and I ran like a flash. My eyes beheld the miracle that Santa Claus had visited my home. It was there that I unwrapped so many long-sought-after toys. All of them I cherish to this day, yet how innocently unaware I was of the preparation that was expended beforehand. My mind returns back to the present as I continue to wrap this gift, but it is not long before my mind wanders off again. I think back to when on every Christmas Eve my family would reunite at my grandmother's home. The kitchen is where my grandmother was in command, happily aided by my mother and aunts. I could almost taste her cooking once again. Meanwhile, the living room was where all of my uncles would congregate. I remember receiving many hearty greetings from them as I entered the room. With them sat my father, as each of them enjoyed a glass of holiday cheer. The room was filled with laughter and deep discussions. They would converse about news, politics, current events, while also suggesting solutions to the world's problems. Topics of which, since I was a small boy, I paid little attention to. But it occupied the time waiting for the announcement of, "Dinner is ready." A long table was prepared in the kitchen for the adults, while a smaller table was set off to the side for the children. This year, an older cousin can sit with the elders. Her coming of age has earned this special privilege. However, the breaking of the bread and the traditional meal serves only as a precursor. I was not concerned about my appetite. My thoughts lay in the finely wrapped gifts waiting under the tree. Adding this ribbon shall make this gift special. I found it in a treasure trove of holiday decorations from yesteryear, but I cannot help but wonder if that ribbon came from one of those Christmas Eve gatherings of the past. When the dinner dishes were washed, my relatives and I would return to the living room. The adults would sit on the furniture, whereas myself and younger cousins were relegated to the floor. Then, one by one, the gifts were finally handed out. My grandmother would ask if I liked my present, and my aunts would smile happily as I thanked them each for my gifts, but what I really enjoyed the most was getting my uncle's thumbs-up approval as I showed off my new toy. Yes, that was then, and this is now. I am saddened that they are no longer with me, and they have passed away. But I have always remembered how they made this time of year so special when I was a young boy. My first freshly wrapped present is set off to the side. Yet a pile of unwrapped gifts is waiting for me. When I got a little older, I felt the time was right to give back. So with my small allowance, I bought presents for those I loved. However, by taking this action, I encountered the task for the first time in my life. Doing the best I could with my young hands, I proceeded secretly, carefully, lovingly, taking my time to wrap each gift for my mother and father. In my mind, I eagerly anticipated the arrival of Christmas morning as I longed to hear the questions that they would ask. What are these extra presents? How did they get here? Who are they from? As joy filled in my heart, I could hardly wait to see my parents' surprised faces. And so I have labored since. Another present has been wrapped and is ready for the pile. It is amazing what I have witnessed over these many years. I remember so many smiles brought forth by a beautifully decorated tree. I can still hear the echoes of laughter due to a gift given as a light-hearted joke, and I could still see the surprised faces of those who unwrap an unexpected present. But most importantly, I can still feel the warm embrace of joyous appreciation. A gold bow crowns another gift. This blue wrapping paper reminds me of my son. A smile is on my face as I think of how he has grown into such a fine young man. I remember the boy that he was, with his beaming little face looking at the Christmas tree, waiting for the miracle of this night. The following morning, my darling wife would sit beside me. We would smile at each other while watching our son unwrap each gift from Santa. And happily, my wife's smile has never diminished from my gaze over these many, many years. I am now putting away the wrapping paper and my friend, the Scotch tape. My last present is finally wrapped, and another Christmas Eve task has been accomplished. I am now ready to take a rest and wait for the celebration to begin. In this moment, though, I begin to contemplate that somewhere in time and space, a young 6-year-old boy is getting ready to go to his grandmother's house. Presently, my wife is occupied as she prepares my grandmother's traditional dinner, and slowly our kitchen fills with the wonderful aroma reminiscent of her house at Christmas time. In this fleeting instant, I am a child once again. So, before this feeling passes, I say unto you, may your hard work tonight result in many joyful memories for a cherished young one, thus ensuring that they will have many happy mementos of this holiday season, so that when your child, in the fullness of time, reaches adulthood, that they will proclaim with joy, Merry Christmas and a Happy